sermon, the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Asaba, the Right Reverend Justus Mogeku, said raising godly children was a collective responsibility of parents, stressing that there was no perfect family in the world. He said parents should strive to maintain high moral standards in order for their children to learn from them to become better citizens in the society, while stressing that late Pa Donald Ochei and late Mrs. Monica Ochei, parents of the speaker, made sacrifices for their children. The Anglican bishop urged parents not to spare the rod in the upbringing of their children. Bishop Mogeku condemned same-sex marriage and called on Nigerians to rise up against it, stressing that it was not biblical. He commended President Goodluck Jonathan and Governor Emmanuel Oduan for their stand against same-sex marriage, noting that his condemnation of gay marriage while receiving an award outside the country recently was worthy of note.
Eyeball to eyeball, and say to them, same-sex marriage is evil, it is unnatural, and we Africans will not accept it. It didn't matter to him that they were giving him an award. They could go to blame him the award. They have to tell them the truth. And
in his remarks, Governor Emmanuel Oduan said the war against same-sex marriage was still on as there was pressure from the international community. He declared that same-sex marriage was a taboo and will remain a taboo, and called on religious ministers to continue to preach against it. Governor Oduan commended the Anglican Church for its stand against same-sex marriage.
Just to appeal that the war is not over, because the pressure for the international community is much, and we must not succumb. It's a taboo, to remain a taboo. So I want to thank you and to urge our religious leaders, not just Anglican, Catholic, and whatever denomination you belong. It is possible. Let it be a point of preaching every time we mount the pulpit.
The governor observed that the legacy left behind by the parents of the speaker was worthy of emulation, stressing that their fruits were notable. The speaker, Honorable Victor Ochei, said his father died 21 years ago, while the mother died 10 years ago, and thanked God for keeping the family together.
When 10 years ago we became certified orphans, myself and my siblings, we were not too sure what would become of us. And 10 years after, we give glory to God Almighty that all 7 of us that were giving birth to our parents are alive in and healthy.
He announced that the family would complete a church hall being built beside the church, while the amount spent on the building so far would be refunded to the church. The speaker also announced that he would change the entire furniture of the church, recalling that it was still the same furniture used during his father's funeral service 21 years ago. The high point of the memorial service was the thanksgiving by the late Pa Donald Ochei's family. The mausoleum housing the tomb of late Pa Donald Ochei and late Mrs. Monica Ochei was later unveiled by Bishop Justus Mogeku, flanked by the speaker Honorable Victor Ochei and Governor Emmanuel Oduan, among others. In an interview, Mr. Emmanuel and Donald Ochei Jr. described their late parents as hardworking who brought them up in the fear of God. Others described the parents of the speaker as committed Christians who gave their children godly upbringing that has made them successes. For Delta TV News, Pere Botu.